Good morning, everyone. We can call the meeting to order. Everyone please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Tell us your cell phones, please. Ms. Williamson, would you have roll call, please?
Mayor Plummer,
Here.
Commissioner Brooks,
Here.
Commissioner Fields,
Here.
Commissioner Gray,
Here.
Commissioner Withrow.
Here. Okay, thank you.
We have a quorum and we are okay to proceed with the transaction of business.
Okay, Mr. Mayhorn.
Good morning, everybody. So first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the special meeting that was held on September the 6th, 2024.
moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Withrow,
Second.
second by Mayor Plummer. Is there any changes or suggestions to be added? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. So next item on the agenda is a special presentation from Kentucky League of Cities. So in February of 2024, Resolution 2024-5 was passed, and that allowed for investments in certain deposits that's, consistent with our ordinance. Staff is continuing to monitor various options to ensure that the city investments are done in a conservative, productive, and compliant manner. So Kentucky League of Cities, they also offer an investment program. So right now, staff is not recommending any action at this meeting. We just want to invite them here to kind of explain a little bit of what they have to offer and how their stuff works. Brad, do you have anything you want to add to this before we get started?
No, I would like to introduce Will here from Kentucky League of Cities. He's going to do a short presentation of, as some of the investment options that they have to offer as well too, and then just some of the planning tools and things that they use or strategies that they help with cities, and just kind of cover some of those things. But yeah, this is just one of those things where we are kind of continuing on from the spring, where we did take about $3 million and put into CDs, and starting to get into some of those programs as well too. And this is just something to look at from an additional option, not to say that we wanted to pull anything away from who we currently do banking with, but just to give us another option as well too. So
Will, would you like to come up and share with the commission?
Good morning, everyone. Just for the record, I am an employee of PNC Bank, and PNC is partnering with the KLC in the management of the investment pool program that began in 2019. I usually present to groups like you along with a representative from the KLC. Stephen Pekarsky is the main contact at KLC IP. And he couldn't make it today, so I agreed to come, and I can help answer questions. I've been involved with the pool since the genesis back in, I believe the planning phase started in 2018. Our first dollar of investment came to the pool in 2019, and we've had several cities who've been involved since the very beginning, and we're always in contact with most of the cities in the state, and we've got about 82 million in the program. Again, we started at zero in 2019. We've grown to about 82 million. We think there's a lot of opportunity to grow more. And one of the things that I think is important to understand about the pool is, KLC started this for the benefit of cities, and the bigger the pool gets, the more, the less expensive it gets to manage, and the better the options get in terms of, we have overhead to cover in the pool. 82 million is a lot of money. If we doubled that, the expense level just essentially goes down by half in terms of what each participant city would pay. So we're excited about the growth. We're always looking to talk to cities to just make them aware of the opportunity set here and what we've got, how it's different from what you might be able to get at a local bank. We also understand, and I think Mr. Bowman mentioned this to me on the way in, is that this money is typically coming from somewhere else. It could be a community bank, it could be a large bank that doesn't operate in the state. And we know that that can be kind of politically and personally create friction that maybe you don't want, and that's fine. We've encountered that everywhere. We don't want to necessarily recommend to any council like you that we want to manage all the funds that are available in the city. We need to be part of an investment program, and we can help optimize that program. And there are some advantages to what we do. There's some advantages to issuing or buying CDs from a local institution. I'm here today to talk about all that. So we can go in any direction you like, or I can tell you more about the investment options. Maybe some feedback now for me to guide us in the best use of your time today.
Is there any in particular items you would like him to touch on, or?
How large is the pool now?
We've got 82 million in the pool, and it's spread across. Do we have the presentation?
I just have what's.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right. We've got 82 million in 5 different investment vehicles, and those range from investing in stocks in the S&P 500 to something that's ultra safe, money market fund that invests only in U.S. Treasury securities. And there's a few things in the middle that.
Jacob, it's after that. It's
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like page 11 or 12 maybe.
There we go.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, that's good. And maybe the little diagram that's on the bottom half of the page, kind of, so this describes the pools that we have. There are now 6, but the money fund is very standard, and it's more of a sweep vehicle. We've got about 21 million in that money fund. And if you could look at this in terms of the risk spectrum and the return spectrum, so on the bottom axis, you've got your variability. Think of it as things move up and down. If you watch the business news, you know that the S&P 500, it goes up generally, but some days it goes down, and that's not very comfortable for a lot of people in responsible positions who are handling money that's the property of the taxpayers. Altogether, we've had cities that have invested in the S&P. There's one in particular in the western part of the state that I can't mention by name that's had money invested in the S&P for the last 5 years, and the S&P 500 has gone up an average of 14% over that 5-year period in each year. And so that money's essentially doubled for them over that period of time. Not saying that's ever going to happen again. It's not for everyone, but we have it available, and that was part of what the KLC wanted to do when they crafted this legislation back in 2018. So if you look at money fund, the least amount of risk and possibly the least amount of return. And as you move to the right-hand side of the chart, you see that there's an enhanced income fund that we've started recently. A little more yield, a very slight amount of variability, and we're getting yields in that portfolio. They're in the low 5% range today. A little bit higher than the money fund. And as you move to the right, you see government bond fund. Government bonds sound super safe, but when you invest in a bond with any kind of term to it, there is market variability that can be tough to stomach for certain people. And government bonds haven't been a great place to be for the last 5 years, but going forward, the yields are much better than they used to be, and it could be a very attractive place. You always know you're going to get your money back with a government bond, but the prices do move. And then further on around the spectrum toward the right-hand side of the page, you can see that there's a dividend-focused equity fund that invests in companies that pay dividends, high dividends relative to the rest of the market, and are relatively safe and don't move around as much as stocks in the S&P 500. At the far end, there's the S&P 500. So risk, you can go up in risk. You have a higher potential return with those options that are on the right-hand side. But I think I had an early conversation with the city manager and some of the people in this room about what you're thinking about today and how we can potentially help. Is we've got money set aside for a specific program. It sounds to me like you don't want to take a lot of risk with these funds. We recommend something on the left-hand side of the page, like the money fund. You can get yields right now that are in the 5 to low 5 range in the money fund, and enhanced income fund, which is great, but also in the news is the Fed may lower rates in a couple weeks, which we think is gonna happen. That's gonna take those rates down into the high 4% range. Probably gonna continue. We're gonna see rates, in the short-term area go down, maybe 2 percentage points over the next 2 years. It's a possibility, but still, those rates are pretty attractive compared to where we were 2 years ago. So there's money to, there's ways to optimize the idle cash that you have, and we're here to help. Here are a couple of the advantages to investing with the KLC investment program. First of all, CD rates have been great. We reckon that those are gonna start to drop here soon, and reinvesting money that comes out of a CD that's matured might not have the greatest opportunity that it did once. I know a lot of banks were very active in trying to raise capital, so they were offering magical CD rates in the 4 to 5% range, and we think this is probably gonna go away. As a kind of a part B of that conversation with CDs is, in the KLC program, you can get your money in 1 or 2 days, depending on what time of day you let us know. There's instant liquidity. In any pool that we've got in the program, you can get your money back. If you need it on a Wednesday, you call us Monday and we'll have it in your account within that 2-day period, sometimes 1 day. So it's a clear advantage. You're sort of locked into CD rates until they mature or pay a penalty to get out. And this is one of the reasons why it's become attractive, an attractive combination. So you can still do CDs, you can still support your local institution. But if you want to optimize money and have super liquidity, the money market fund or the enhanced income fund can be great options with really terrific yields. Sorry,
How
go ahead.
many communities are invested in this investment pool?
Good question. So we've got about 70, I believe, in the pool today. 70 out of, and we had this question on one of our prep calls. There are 200 municipalities in the state. There are also water districts and sewer districts that are eligible for the program. There are also county governments that are eligible to enter. So if you put all that together, it probably looks like about 400 potential entities that can enter the pool. We've got about 70 right now. And most of those are cities like most of the bigger cities like Louisville, Covington, and Lexington. They've got people on staff who can manage this, and they've got their own investment teams. But for cities like Paris, and you could name a few, we've been all over the state from Louisa to Paducah and down to Hoptown, and these are cities they don't have a big staff to manage this stuff and look after it. That's where we can come in and help out.
Is there a certain time period during the year where you have to get, if you want to get into the program, this is the starting date, or could we do it at any time we decided if we wanted to do it?
Anytime. You could get out or get in at any point. There's no minimum to invest in the program. There's also no transaction fee or on the interest in the program for KLC and for PNC is we make a fee on the total amount invested. And that fee is 0.25%, and we split that fee with the KLC. So 12 in our world we call them basis points because the numbers get pretty small. But 0.125% goes to PNC and 0.125 goes to the Kentucky League of Cities. It's comparatively small relative to what you might pay to have someone at a brokerage or an advisory firm manage the money. And like I said, as we grow the pool, those numbers get smaller and smaller. It's part of our agreement with the KLC. We have seen other programs in other states like this, and not every state. So Kentucky was ahead of the game. There might be 12 states that have investment pool programs like this, and most of them are oriented towards just a big money fund, like short-term, like the Enhanced Income Fund, trying to make the most of short-term yields. And if you remember, maybe 3 years ago, when rates were close to zero, those money funds were paying nothing. They were essentially zero. The banks were paying nothing for CDs. We're in a vast environment now. We're thrilled about that. I mean, rates are higher for people who want to borrow, but on the investing side, most cities have more assets than liabilities, and this is the time when it really helps out cities to have these kind of options for higher interest rates, paying things without taking a lot of risk. I can give you an example of we talked earlier about a city in the western part of the state who got into the program pretty early and was comfortable diversifying across all the pools. So they put, at the time we had 5 pools, including the money fund. They put 20% of their idle cash. This is not cash that was set aside for any type of project. Some cities have a road fund project, or they have like a building project of some kind, and they'll segregate those funds in a particular account with the KLC. But the city had just a surplus from just a payroll tax that had accumulated over a long period of time. They put it in the pool, they put 20% in each pool, and like I said, the S&P 500 part of that pool was doubled, but it's only 20% of their assets that they put in. So yeah, it's doubled, great, but the rest of the pools have performed reasonably well over that same period of time. And so it's been a source of income for them, and it's been a cushion against rainy day fund. And that's great. You know, a lot of cities are in the opposite situation where they're running a lean budget and don't have a lot of surplus funds. And for those cities who have cash, they're trying to optimize before they have to spend the money. The short-term fund or the money fund, enhanced income, those would be the best options. Hope this is helpful. I'm certainly willing to answer questions, or I can show you some more information about the return history of some of the pools, or what's on your minds.
Anybody have any other questions or comments?
No, I appreciate you coming and talking to us. I think it's a great option to look at. We've looked at local institutions, and a few have done us very well, but we're always open to other opportunities, I think.
Okay.
Well, I think, you know, kind of as we headed back to spring, we started looking over our investment policy, which was last approved or back in 1994. So it's time
It's
to,
not that long ago.
so obviously we're kind of looking at redoing that investment policy as far as the ordinance goes, and then also kind of looking at some investment committee type setups to involve staff and even commissioners on it as well too, just to kind of move forward so that we have some different eyes and things just kind of looking over where we are kind of with our money and everything, so.
Good, yeah.
I think one of the things I would like to add though too is, I mean, I know, obviously as you kind of see like S&P 500 and dividend focus, as Will kind of had indicated there, you do typically see a lot of those swings in those funds. That's not something that we would want to, you know, try to jump into right away. That's probably like a 3 or 5 year plan. And I think that's one of the things that KLC kind of offers as well too, kind of looking over some of the things and maybe trying to generate a program to look at that type of investments. But really, if we do look at some of opening up accounts and putting money in there, then, you know, it's just staying with the money market or even looking at that enhanced, so we keep things very liquid and that kind of stuff. So
I think you're right.
There's an interesting approach that a city took. It happens to be the city where I live, but I wasn't involved in talking to them. I wanted to kind of just distance myself from the conversation. But they took the income from their enhanced income fund. And so every month when they get an interest payment, they put it into S&P 500 stock fund. So they're essentially, you could call it taking the income and just they're putting that in its own risk pool. So it's a very small amount. And, you know, understand also that cities can only invest 20% in the risky pools of S&P 500 and the dividend focused fund. So it's going to be tempered a little bit just because you can't get too much of your money involved in those pools. But it was an interesting idea that worked for them, and they started this earlier this year. So every time they get an interest payment, we've set it up so it automatically invests in the S&P 500, kind of like a 401k almost. But an interesting approach, and I'll close with, we've encountered councils all over the state, and, you know, they're like yours. We've got a group of people here with a diverse set of views. That's not uncommon. Some cities have maybe someone on the council that's in the business of investing and knows a little bit, maybe they get a little bit more comfortable. We recognize that there's no one-size-fits-all type of strategy here, and we want to be a small part of what you're doing. And that could be, you know, very small. We've had cities invest as little as $50,000 in the program, which is great. You know, there's no minimum, it could be lower than that, and we certainly understand the relationships with local institutions that you have. When those CDs come up for maturity, you're probably gonna have a lot of options, and you're gonna get some of those options from the city. And we certainly wanna play a role in that and make sure that you're exposed to what's available through the KLC investment pool program. But I'm thrilled to be here today to talk through it, and I can stay and answer more questions if you have them.
Well, I appreciate you coming, and I think this was very beneficial to everybody, and if anybody has any more questions, we can share your contact information and then get with you.
Absolutely, please do, and myself and Stephen Pekarsky at the KLC, either one of us, I think you probably have all of our contact information, and we're happy to help.
I appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So as I move on to the next item, which is our consent agenda, you guys will see that we printed out a packet. I guess we had an issue when we'd updated that the link was no longer accessible to be able to get into the packet. So I wanted you guys to make sure you had the packet in hand when we go into this consent item. So we had 12 items on the consent. Is any of those items would you guys need to pull off and discuss?
Why don't you go ahead and give Mr. Gibson the date set for trick or treating? It's item J.
31st,
This,
6 to 8.
yep, so it'll be October 31st from 6 to 8. And the,
So the city will pick up brush and limbs curbside the week of October 21st through October 25th. And Rumpke will pick up heavy trash on Thursday, October 24th.
sir?
As far as Halloween, if it gets bad weather, is there any other alternate date, or is that it? So you'll stick with that date?
I say rain or shine, we stick with it.
Stick
with it.
It's controversial whether you catch it or not either. It's on your own.
All right.
Any more discussion on the consent items? If not, I'll make a motion to approve the consent. So have a motion.
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. So now we're going to move into our regular agenda items. So item 7A, resolution 2024-13, is declaring city government month. I've got my pages out of order here a little bit. So the city government, of course, provides a core service to the communities and a quality of life. So the city believes that it's very important that educating and engaging students in local government. September is City Government Month, and that was designated by the governor of Kentucky. City staff, we've participated in numerous events throughout the year at schools and trying to keep kids engaged in the schools. So this resolution, if approved, would declare September City Government Month in the city of Paris. And staff would be sending out this resolution to all school superintendents requesting their continued support by celebrating City Government Month and educating the youth and to continue to build relationships between the schools and the city.
Does that mean that our staff personnel will be going into the schools to present certain programs, or how the city operates, or will they come here and take a tour, or one of the other
Potentially
departments?
both.
Okay.
They now, they do come here and we meet with them, you know, and kind of discuss what we're doing, and they take a tour and go around to a lot of our facilities, and we'd like to be able to continue that and maybe even, you know, do more.
Okay.
I move we approve resolution 2024-13.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Withrow. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mayor Plummer. Ms. Webster, will you call roll?
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Fields,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Withrow.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is discussion for the service line warranty program. So this is something that we had brought to the commission in May of 2024 to approve the National League of Cities to offer the service line warranty to the city residents of Paris. This is a program that is at no cost to the city, and it's a relatively low cost to the citizens, and it's not a required. It's a complete 100% optional program that this company is offering the city of Paris customers and residents that will provide an insurance and a warranty on their service lines. Not only is it a program that provides this type of protection for them, it's also a training program that helps to educate the citizens and the customers of what's the responsibility of the city and what's the responsibility of the customers. So they have sent over the advertisements and campaign material that they're going to send out. And we've reviewed it and had very minor changes, and Brian's looked over it, staff has looked over it, and we feel comfortable with what they're wanting to send out. It had been mentioned by one or more commissioners throughout the time that before we actually send this out, to put this in the packet and let you guys have a look at it and discuss it again in an open meeting. That way that the citizens know potentially what's going to be mailed out. So in the packet is a sample of the literature that they're going to be sending out. I have also spoken with them, and they are going to come in and do some in-person training. I'm trying to work out some dates and some times that work with them, that we can potentially maybe set up a date and a time for them to come and either be at the library or be here at the city building and just publish some stuff out and invite any citizens to come in and talk with them about this program and what it offers and you know, what it covers.
I can just add a few things. So you'll see it has their letterhead on it as well as the city's letterhead, which they requested permission to use. But just to reiterate, this is a completely independent company. This is not mandatory. No customer of City of Paris Utilities is affected in any way, whether they purchase this or don't purchase this. This was designed for this separate company to come in and offer this program, which to help protect our utility customers from service line issues that arise, which are not the city's obligation to fix. And you all know there always seems to be one.
Does the city benefit in any way, commission-wise, or on the option of the citizens?
No, in fact, that's a great question, Commissioner Gibson. One of the offers to the city was for the city to receive that benefit, and instead what this commission very benevolently did was to pass along those savings to the customer. So for every customer who's offered one of these warranties, they're actually paying less to the act of the commission.
Okay.
Do we have to have a minimum number to participate in this program? Okay.
There's no minimum. The city does not do any kind of billing. It is not, it's 100%, you know, an independent
I
company.
remember the brochure.
It's not exclusive, is it, Brian? I mean, they're advertising all the time for this on TV, and I think you get one in your gas bill.
Oh,
and
that's what I was
different
gonna say.
ones. But we're just saying, hey, we're okay with this. I do know from past experience, there's a lot of misinformation that sewer lines, the city covers everybody's sewer lines from their house to the street, and I think that's part of what these people do. They educate that it's the homeowner's responsibility.
Yeah.
And I would add, from the city's perspective, if a homeowner utility customer has a current program similar to this in place with a different company, this action by the commission in no way has any impact on their existing private arrangement with another company.
So there's no action required on this because this was already approved. It's just kind of a discussion item. Is there any other questions or concerns or?
Do we have a date when we want to get information out to the community at large?
So what they have sent me over, what I've got for you guys is the sample. They're waiting on me to approve, approve their draft. Once that is approved, then they plan to try to start doing some advertising, sooner than later. And they're going to ask us, and it's something that we would want to do too, is kind of publish out on our website and our social media, hey, this information is going to come out. We've reviewed it. We feel it's a good program, but it is 100%, not affiliated with the city of Paris, and it's an independent company that is offering this program. I do want to add that they did give me a complete list of references of other local cities, and there's a lot of large cities. Covington is one of them, Louisville, that uses this company and offers this program to their citizens. And I called and spoke with their management, and their management said it has been a great program, and the citizens has, really taken advantage of it. One of the biggest things, and that's, we've talked a lot, is, the city's responsible for the main sewer line in the street. And then the city's responsibility ends at the water meter. The line going from that meter to the house, or from the main, whether the sewer main is in the middle of the street or whether it's in the sidewalk, the line coming from the house to that is 100% the responsibility of the homeowner. That can get very expensive if they have any kind of repairs, especially if they have to dig it out in the street and get a contractor to, get permits and put the blacktop back. And this program here is, like I said, is a warranty that covers that. They do only use local contractors that are licensed and insured. So, I feel that that's a benefit to the citizens, and the city of Paris will benefit from the training and being able to provide this service. This option for the service to the citizens.
Thank you.
Once I get a date for some in-person training, I'll send that information out and make sure that everybody's aware of it. I know this company is also going to use some local newspapers to send out some information in local news and try to get that information out. All right, so if we have any more questions on that, I will move on to item 7C, which is Municipal Order 2024-67, which is participation agreement for the KYMEA. I'd like to ask Mr. Sparkman if he'd come up. He probably can answer some more questions on this than I can, but in September of 2023, staff come and we discussed with you about the potential of a RICE unit with the KYMEA. And a RICE unit is a reciprocating internal combustion engine. Did I get that right? So at the meeting in May 28th, Commission approved a draft for the participation in potentially having a RICE unit installed with the KYMEA. The participation agreement and the Energy Center for Project 1, which is a power purchase agreement, kind of needs this RICE unit maybe for future needs. So Sparky, I'll turn some more over to you that you can maybe explain a little more of what we're looking to do here.
I'll see if I can't mess it up. So you all, Doug and Heather came a few months ago and made a presentation regarding this. This is basically a power plant that we're building and that we would own a part of, along with 8 other municipals that are involved directly with KYMEA. And we've asked for other companies to submit power options for us to purchase, and they're just not out there. There's not a lot of excess generation in the Midwest right now for us to purchase power from. And so this is kind of the next step, owning our own. And so we would have proportionate to our load, our size as a city compared to everyone else. With this investment, we would own our portion of that, and basically us as a group sells it back to us, KYMEA. And then anyone else that would come on board with KYMEA or that is not currently involved in this power plant project. And so we would be owners, operators, although KYMEA, it's kind of odd since we're on KYMEA, but KYMEA basically is our sole purchaser. Unless they want to and don't need it, we sell it on the grid to somebody else. And so this is just putting pen to paper on what we verbally agreed to earlier with this power plant. It's we've had plans shown to us. I don't have any of those for you all, but there are 4 units where we have 7 down at our old power plant here in town. They have 4 large, almost 20 megawatt units that are going in, and it's going to be built real close to Madisonville, Kentucky. And so agreements are being put into place with natural gas, with KU on the transmission side to be able to get the power to the grid, and on bonds and other things that are probably presented in the packet there. So
I move we approve municipal order 2024-67 with KYMEA.
Got a motion by Commissioner Withrow and a second by Commissioner Brooks. Rest of you, call roll, please.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Fields,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Withrow.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Hey, Ms. Marty, what will we do with the current, over the buildings we got over there right now? Will you still use them at all?
We
Back
still-
up, or?
we still have, so we're hoping, we have been running those a little bit this summer with the heat especially.
Right.
We're hoping not to do that a whole lot. Me personally, especially since I'm one of the operators. No, we do have a contract with KYMEA through 2029, so another 5 more years.
Okay.
And they've spoken to us a little bit about that, whether we would continue with generation for them or not beyond that. But we're hopeful that we have a solar project with KYMEA that we were hoping to see come on board right now. Actually, we were hoping last year to see it come on board. But I think it's still running a little bit behind. But once the solar comes on, and hopefully once we get this in place, we would see less need for us to run as a utility individually anyway. But we'll see. Who knows what the future holds.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we'll move on to reports from outside agencies. Ms. Betty Ann, was you that? You got the whole front row.
You got all their time.
Yeah, I get all their time, right? Exactly. Just to let you all know, last Friday, I hosted the Bluegrass Region monthly meeting here in Paris. And the executive directors from the region were here. There's about 12 of them that were able to make it. Some of them have fall festivals going on and weren't able to be here. But we met at Hartfield Distillery and then went uptown to Lil's and had lunch, and they all enjoyed that very much. I've just got a list of all the things that are coming up that I will be promoting, and they're in random order, just as I was thinking about them, so bear with me, because it's fall and there's lots of things going on. Of course, the Legends Bourbon County Festival is coming up October 11th through the 13th. 11th is the gala. There's still tickets available. 12th and 13th, there will be, everything going on downtown. On Sunday, we're calling that Family Fun Day, and I'm in the process of still finding people that will come and set up and do children's activities. On the stage that day, we're going to feature local talent. So if you know anyone that would like to promote themselves and come down and sing, please have them get in touch with our office. Let's see. Fall always brings festivals to the farms that are tourist attractions. So it's So Long Summer, Hello Fall at Middle Springs Farm. And it is stepping into the fall holidays at Stepping Stone Farm. So those are coming up. Hopewell Creative Arts Gallery is having their Creative Harvest exhibit that opens September 13th. Tuesday at the Presby is at the Presbyterian Church. And in November, they're having Hancock and Shouse, and in October, Them Lasses will be performing. The Pumpkin Festival is coming up, as you all know. They've been doing a great job of advertising. They've got commercials running on TV. Every time you look up, you see Ned Sheehy's smiling face.
What day is that? When's
That's
it
the
come?
21st.
21st?
Yes, of September. Chautauqua Days are going on this weekend in Millersburg, and they look like they've got a big lineup of things that goes on all day from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. We will be re-putting the pumpkins on the steps again this Halloween at the courthouse because they're not doing any work down there, so they will be free to use the pumpkins on the steps. Trunk or Treat's coming up the 26th. Dia de los Muertos is coming up the 1st of November 3rd, I believe. Secretariat Park will be celebrating their 1-year anniversary, and Jocelyn Russell will be coming in doing a special sculpting class that I believe is already full for 2 weekends. And then we will be releasing the video from last year. So that's what we'll be doing to celebrate. Picnic on the Creek by the Farmers Markets coming up the 28th. Also included with the Legends of Bourbon County is a 5K and 10K run at Alapa Farm. There's over 100 participants signed up so far, and that is September 28th. The local theater group is putting on The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and that will be at the Presbyterian Church as well. If I left anybody off, it's not intentional. Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, do you have anything that you want to discuss about the live?
Yeah. I'll always add a couple things. I'll never cease to talk. So. We have started the free second grade swim lessons. I don't know how everybody knows, but we do free second grade swim lessons for all of Paris, Bourbon County. We've now added Nicholas County and Harrison County. So basically all the surrounding counties, we offer all free second grade swim lessons. So we have started with St. Mary's and Harrison County, and all throughout this school year, we'll finish in May. finally, I believe Cane Ridge typically goes last. So, but we will hit everybody this school year. And then in addition to all those wonderful things that Betty Ann mentioned, our fall benefit is October 19th. So we would love to have everybody out there to support the Y on October 19th out at Hillcroft. It is the 20th year that we've hosted it out there at Hillcroft. So the theme is Roaring Twenties. So typically it's not themed, but we've themed it this year. So we'd love to see everybody there.
Thank you. Thank you. So now we'll go to reports from city staff. Mike, you want to give us an update? We'll just put you on the list for the next several meetings.
The building's been delivered, they've inventoried everything's there. Waiting on Katie to hook up the temporary so they can start putting the building up. Plumbers are on site running the force mains. Electricians are running wires all over the place, you know, hooking up the street lights and stuff, having all that. Getting all that done before the paving. My understanding is the paving is still scheduled to be done this year, so we're hopeful that the way things are moving, they're definitely going to have room and time to get that done. Like I said, plumbing and electricians are there, we're getting all the electrical run underground and all that, so that'll be done. Then the contractor can move on with the paving. Concrete work is moving. Just a lot. It doesn't look like there's a lot of people out there right now, but the plumbers and electricians are doing their stuff, so, but a lot's getting done every day, and everything's still on schedule. Progress has been made every day.
I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see the drone pictures that, so I'd like to, you know, thank Officer Short again for those.
And we're gonna try to get those at least once a month, new ones to kind of update y'all, so let you see the progress on it, so.
Thanks, Mike. Any other city staff have any updates or comments?
I just have a quick one, Kevin. He didn't want me to say anything, but he's gone now, so I can. As of October 31st, water operator class 4 Alan Hedges did retire from service with the city. So I wanted to wish him well in his retirement and say thank you for your service.
Yep, I agree. Chief Duffy, did you want to talk about the upcoming anniversary that the fire station has, or?
So we're going to close High Street on October the...
Come on down.
Horse down.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but it's kind of a big...
So Mr. Winthrop started the fire department in 1870. Junior fireman.
Yeah.
The fire department's going to celebrate 150 years old. This fire station downtown, which is the oldest continuously operated fire station in the world. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records for another department. We're trying to argue that point, but it costs money to do that argument. We're going to shut down High Street, have a celebration out front of the station from 11 to 2 on that Saturday to date, October the 5th, off the top of my head. Celebrate 150 years, a long time. Mike, you remember when that building was built?
That's definitely something to be proud of, and that's kind of what I wanted to...
You the first person that Duffy hired, or? Wish they were hired?
And he regrets hiring me.
Yeah, I cannot confirm or deny. I hired him.
That's it for us.
Thanks, Chief,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Mayor, commissioners, do you all have any?
I'll move for adjournment if there's no other business.
Second. We have a motion for adjournment, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.